Emirates fly to 142 destinations worldwide. So you're joining Emirates to travel the world, stay in those luxurious hotels, and soaking in those dreamy 72-hour layovers? Well, sometimes you will, but quite often, no. So what could be your real travel expectation as Emirates cabin crew member? In this video, I'll break down all Emirates layover destination, my own travel history as an Emirates cabin crew for the 5 years, and of course some secrets how Emirates layovers work. As always, my name is Irina, you're on a Jesting Ginger channel where we explore the skies, share aviation insights, and dive deep into the reality of cabin crew life. If you're ready, fasten your seatbelt because we are flying right into it. As of August 2025, Emirates operates to 142 destinations, but here is a catch. You won't visit all of them as a cabin crew member. Why? Turnarounds. If you don't know, turnarounds are the flights when you're going to the destination and coming back the same day without staying overnight. Every airline has its own rule, but on Emirates, usually if flight is shorter than 4 hours, it's turnaround. So all Middle East countries are turnarounds, of course some Asian and African destinations like Egypt for example. There are also some exceptions, for example flights that are longer than 4 hours, even 5 hours flights could be turnaround like Entebbe in Uganda. It's an extremely long flight, it's an extremely long day, I would even say it's a killer flight, but that's the reality. On the other hand, there are some flights which are shorter than 4 hours, that's our layovers like Seychelles. This happened because some airlines require airlines to give the crew rest in those destinations like Seychelles requires, but that means that layover will be shorter than regular rest hours. There are also some flights that could be easily layover or turnaround, for example Dhaka, Bangladesh or Chennai, India could be easily layover or turnaround. It depends on the timing when you're flying, because I operated both of those flights as layover or turnaround. Just depends when is your departing time. Later in the video, I'm gonna break down all Emirates layover destination. I'll separate them by the continent so you know where you can go and enjoy it as a crew, so you get paid to travel. But we're gonna start what is the usual, normal Emirates layover. No matter where you fly, Emirates will provide you with 3 things: hotel accommodation, transportation, and layover allowance. The most typical Emirates layover is 24 hours at destination. Almost all European layovers are 24 hours, quite rarely 48 hours, and my longest European layover was in Lyon, it was 72 hours, and it was during the COVID time. Not the COVID time itself, but the time when airlines were still recovering after the COVID, so our layovers in general were longer. And I had longer layovers in a destination that are typically 24 hours. They were longer at the time, but they get back to 24 hours, so you shouldn't expect any European layovers to be longer than. Sometimes they can be 48 hours, but most often 24. There are also layovers that are longer than 24 hours. If we are talking about the ultra-long flights to Australia, US or New Zealand, they are usually from 36 to 72 hours. Sometimes they can be even longer than 19 hours, like Miami in US. But don't get me wrong, those flights are extremely difficult to operate. They are difficult for your body. There are also different time zones. You need longer time to recover. So even when it's 48-hour layover, you still need to push yourself to go and explore. And sometimes it's not that dreamy that you think. And don't get yourself fooled. Some of the layovers after the ultra-long flights to US or Australia could be still 24 hours. For example, New York and Washington layovers are just 24 hours. The flight is 14 plus hours one way, and you stay in the destination just 24 hours. So you're extremely exhausted. I've been to Washington as an operating crew for more than 8 times, I think, and I just been to the city once because I wasn't extremely tired. It's easier with New York because New York has two types of layovers, one of them 24 and another one is 30, and the hotel is in really nice location, so you can actually enjoy and explore. You're super tired, but you can enjoy New York. But sometimes the location of the hotel doesn't allow you to enjoy the city. Emirates usually book its crew into the 5 4-star hotels with big names like Hilton, Marriott, Renaissance, and some of them are extremely luxurious, gorgeous, and in the city center. Like I already said, in New York, the hotel is 5 minutes walking distance to the Times Square and 5 minutes walking distance to the Central Park, so you can enjoy the city. But others might not be that central. For example, layovers in London are not actually in London. Those layovers are close to the airports, and usually Emirates flies to Stansted, Gatwick and Heathrow, and they are far from the London itself. So it's 60 plus kilometers away from London, those hotels, so you need to spend more than an hour just to get to the city center. And if you are talking about the flights where you were working as a crew, you're tired, you woke up early in the morning, or it was overnight flight, then you're exhausted and sometimes you don't have this power to go to the city. You just want to eat, sleep and rest. And Emirates has a lot of London flights, so you're gonna see this flight in your schedule 100%, and definitely you're gonna go to London at least once to explore and enjoy it. But 95% of the crew on Emirates, they hate to see London on their schedule because it's just to sleep, rest and eat, but not to have fun, unless you're from UK. So it really depends on the destination. Sometimes you can get like a resort on Mauritius, and sometimes you can get something not that nice on other destinations. So it really depends, especially travel-wise. If you need to travel from your hotel to actually get to that specific destination, to that city, London doesn't mean that you're gonna be in London. Sometimes you need to get there. And as I mentioned earlier, you're gonna get the layover allowance for food. Most people think that Emirates has a per diem system because many airlines worldwide has it. It doesn't matter where you go in, you're gonna get the same allowance for food. With Emirates, it's slightly different. It depends on destination. So, for example, if you're going to the Miami, your allowance for food will be way higher than if you're going to Sri Lanka, and that's because of the price for the food in those countries. They are extremely different. As well, your layover allowance might be different. Depends on the time and when you're arriving in destination, even if it's the same one. They pay you for the breakfast, lunch and dinner, and usually the highest allowance you get is for dinner or lunch. So if you're getting by those 24 hours dinner twice, it will be higher than if you will be getting breakfast twice. That's because crew gets a lot of discounts in those hotels, especially for breakfast. So usually breakfast is not expensive in hotel at all because crew gets an additional discounts. As well, they are getting discounts for spa, laundry, and some other options that hotels offer sometimes. And before we proceed to all Emirates layovers are currently available to you to travel as a crew, I'm gonna share with you my own travel history as an Emirates crew member for the 5 years. That's actually not only my Emirates crew travels, but also my personal travels, because I put the statistic of my flights together and it was kind of hard to separate my personal travels and my crew travels. But let's be honest, majority of it is because of Emirates. So in total, I've been to more than 550 flights. I spent more than 160 hours on board the aircraft, and I traveled around the Earth 72 times in total, which is crazy if you think about it. In total, I've been to 67 countries, but I visited only 57 of them, and that's because of the turnarounds. And some of those 57 countries are because of my personal travels. For example, I've been to Kazakhstan, which is not on Emirates networks, so some of those countries are not included into the Emirates network, but I still been there on my personal travels. And 67 countries is in total, including those turnaround destination, because I never left the aircraft, so I don't count it as my travel countries, the country that I've been to. It's just the countries that I've been as a crew on board the aircraft. So all of those Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Jordan, you get the point, right? Whatever is like Emirates turnaround destination that I never been on my personal travel, I do not count it as the country that I've visited. And now to the most interesting parts, all Emirates layover destination. And for you guys specifically, I made the list divided by the continents, where you can actually go as a crew, stay there and explore the countries. So here on the screen you can see all Emirates European destination where you're staying as a cabin crew member, and most of those destinations are 24 hours, but sometimes they could be 48 hours, like Amsterdam for example, it could be 48 hours, but the list of Emirates European destination is quite extensive, and I did actually enjoyed it. Now we're proceeding to Americas, and that part of the world you might think that all Emirates destinations are layover destination, but that's not true. There are some destinations that are still turnaround, like Bogota, for example, or Buenos Aires are turnaround destination because they are on the multi-sectors. So you're not going directly to Bogota or Argentina, you are going to Miami for Bogota, and you're going to Rio de Janeiro for Argentina, and that's a turnaround. So not all Emirates Americas destinations are layovers. There are also a lot of the Asian and Pacific destinations. Also, a lot of them are turnarounds because I included India like to Asian part of the world. So many of those destinations are turnarounds, but anywhere there are still some Indian layovers that you can travel, and almost all like a further destination are layovers. And last but not least, Africa, and as well a lot of destinations are turnaround destinations because flights are shorter than 4 hours, but many of them are layovers, so you can enjoy, and that's the other world. To conclude, I'm gonna say that within the 5 years with Emirates, I haven't traveled to all Emirates destinations for two reasons. The first is it's quite difficult to get some of those destinations. I'm not gonna explain the bidding system here. We can ask for the flights on Emirates, but yeah, it's like the whole topic for another video. But a lot of people are asking for the same flights, and depends on your seniority, you can get it, and also your bid group, whatever. So some flights like Rio de Janeiro or Japan are extremely difficult to get because like almost everyone wants that, and almost everyone asked for these flights. That's why I haven't been to Rio de Janeiro, but I've been to South Korea or Japan, which is difficult to get. And the second reason why I haven't been to them all is because I didn't want to. Because of my personal reasons, I didn't want to travel to some specific destination, so I never asked for those flights, or if they were ever on my schedule, I tried to swap them for other flights that I wanted to travel. So I do know a lot of people who work for Emirates for more than 10 years, but they still haven't been to all Emirates destination, which is fun fact. But at the same time, I love some other destination, like I've been to New York more than 20 times. Like I love the city itself, so that's why. So I still think that Emirates is one of the best airlines in the world to join if you want to travel the world as a crew member. Because of Emirates, I have such an extensive list of the countries and cities that I visited. So definitely, if your goal is to travel the world and get paid for it, yes, Emirates is an amazing option. As always, guys, if you like this type of content, don't forget to write in the comment your opinion and like this video, because I'm doing it for you and I really want to hear the feedback from you guys to know what I should do next. But if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, because it gives me motivation to do more of such videos, and I believe I see you soon. Bye!